Good morning. It is May the 18th, 2017. Time to kick off another trading day. We'll start with our usual disclaimer. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, results may have under or overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, the Democrats got what they wanted last night. Mueller was appointed as a special counsel, given a budget. Trump, Democrats are getting what they want when they want it. If anybody thinks that the appointment of Mueller is going to slow things down and stop the attacks on Trump, I think you have another thought coming. It may be enough to pause the selling in the E-mini for a day or two, but the bottom line is that there is a pall hanging over Trump's head right now. Is he going to be able to deliver the campaign promises, the deregulation and tax cuts? And the entire rally in equities has been based on that. So my guess is that after all the congratulatory stuff gets out of the way, they'll be calling for more special counsels, more congressional investigations. The impeachment talk won't go down. The letter writing campaign to raise money for the Democrats will be based around this special counsel and the unsuitability of Trump as a president, et cetera, et cetera. So we may get a couple of day reprise from this, and it may be enough to rally the stock market, get a relief rally. But I don't see that it's going to stop things. Trump has pretty much effectively lost control of the communications. He has to do something in a major way to get it back. And with everybody against him, including his own party, it's going to be difficult to do. So the Democrats continue to control and run Washington, D.C., even though they don't own the House, they don't own the Senate, they don't own the Supreme Court now, and they don't own the presidency. But they do know how to play the game. Republicans are a farce. So that's where we sit. If the E-mini does rally back today, treasuries will sell, so will gold. So all gets down to the direction of the ES. The overnight news, Great Britain's retail sales came in much higher than forecast. Otherwise, the news slate was quiet, other than Mueller's appointment. Today we have jobless claims at 240. It's some of the only news today, so it probably will cause a reaction. Philly Fed at 19.6. I believe Philly Fed is more important than the jobless claims number. LEI plus 0.3. No one pays any attention to that because of the interest rate component. And natural gas inventories at 61B, plus 61B. So first sell is 19 to 23, sell 1. Second sell is 27 to 31. On the buy side, 9 to 13, buy 1. 1 to 5, buy 2. And whichever way the E-mini goes will tell the tale of the Treasury tape. Quite often, the excess is absorbed in the overnight session, and we'll see if that is the case today. If we can't take out the 126.20 to 24 area, the trade is a short. Man, we live in interesting times. You talk about the chaos and it's all, most of it's just fake or fabricated news. Most of it is not true, and yet you can really see the impact of propaganda and the big lie that Mayo talked about and Goebbels and everybody else has used. In fact, it started with I think his name was Bayes or Baya in the United States for Woodrow Wilson. But it's very, very powerful stuff. Right now, 4 to 8 is resistance number 1. 11 to 15, sell 1. 23, 27, sell 2. Down to the direction of the E-mini, period. 2024 number 1, 13 to 17 by 1, 1 to 5 by 2. I still am taken back by that book called Donkey Cons, as in convicts, where in the 1830s the Democrats started to lock down the judiciary, so if they got caught with their hands in the till, they wouldn't pay too high a price, and Democrats just don't go to jail for any crimes, very, very few times, and that's still the case today. Okay, right here on gold, last rotate up stopped at 64. We're at 60, so 64, 66, sell 1. 69, 71, sell 2. 55, 57, buy 1. If the E-mini rallies, gold will suffer. Maybe not to the extent of treasuries because of inflation is usually higher than forecast, not always. And I'll put a link in the room later on today about what it actually costs to live. And depending on the city and the area that you live in, it's 8 to about 13% inflation, annualized inflation per year. Quite a bit higher, and you see that if you have to rent, buy food, not gasoline, but everything goes up in price. Okay, looking at the euro, it's come off a little bit, so the euro might be signaling that selling in the equities might be over. Equities around the globe followed the U.S. lead. Asia off collectively 2.45%. Europe off collectively 2.40%. Dow was off 330 yesterday, I believe, by my math, or Dow futures. And we had a high of 98 yesterday, and we closed at 2357, off almost 40 points. So heavy duty selling. Asia almost always follows the United States, and if the markets are going to turn, it'll happen in Europe, but they did not happen last night. So maybe the euro is telling us that the selling in equities is at least going to pause. Buy 1, 112, 111.25. Buy 2, 111 even. On the sell side, London's high was 60, so sell will be 50 to 60, sell 1. 75 to 85, sell 2. Okay, when the Republican Party started getting their funding from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce from large corporations, it's much easier to go collect $1 million from the right donor than it is to get $1 million from 10,000 donors. The name of the game changed for the Republicans, and that's where they raise their money these days. And the people that are at the companies that are at the top of the cash pyramid right now like it just the way that it is, and they can write the checks. And so the Republican Party is controlled. And if you look at the campaign contributions, Democrats always get over 50% no matter what, because they can do the most damage when they take control, and Republicans are in the 45% area because they don't hurt you when they get elected to office. So looking at crude oil, pretty good support at 48. So 48 even, 48 and a quarter by 1. And then 47.50, 47.75 by 2. The market is oversupplied, but we are getting supportive rhetoric out of Russia and Saudi Arabia. President meets with Saudi Arabia, I believe, on Sunday. Sell 1, 48.75 to 49, 49 and a quarter, 49.50. Sell 2. So trading range: your seller at 49.50, your buyer at 48. Is what the market looks like right now. The E-mini. When we take a look at the bar chart, I can find it. There it is. 2 days selling enough, and we have two really big bars down, and we got really the 23.25, 23.25 is pretty good support. 50 to 70 point corrections in a market of normal. So we've got basically 23.20 to 24.05. That's about 75 points. We're right in the middle right now. So is 2 days selling enough, and is the appointment of Mueller enough to pause the market? Might be. So I think the first trade of the day is a short. The news today is pretty inconsequential. Jobless claims 240. I think the focus is Philly Fed at 19.6. That could come in lower than forecast. LEI plus 0.3. They never miss on that estimate. And natural gas plus 61 BCF. So the focus will be Philly Fed and the Mueller appointment. The spill was from 75. So you can see this 65 to 75 area really looms large. We're at 55 right now, so 59.61, sell 1. 64.66, sell 2. That's where resistance is. And we're going to put a question mark at 55. On the buy side, 45.47 by 1. 40.42 by 2. I think there is one sell left in it, but I'm leaning towards the low as in for this move. And we'll see if that actually happens. Okay, going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. Going to get busy on that. Back with you as soon as possible.